What's going on, my people? This is Profe Gallo. Now, have you considered living in Mexico? Have you considered the cost of living to live in Mexico? Well, if you have, this video is for you, and I'm eager to share with you all, so stay tuned. I couldn't take it no more, so I left the Matrix.
Compra colchones, tambores, refrigeradores, estufas, lavadoras, microondas o algo de fierro viejo que vendan. Dímelo, profe.
So for those who don't know, I am Profe Gallo, and I am a U.S. veteran that moved to the Dominican Republic and now Mexico. And with this channel, I share everything that's related to travel and expat living. So needless to say, the cost of living here in Mexico is much cheaper than places like the United States or countries of the Western world. Mexico is cheaper, but I wouldn't call it cheap. So now let me break down the cost of living in Mexico this year, 2024. Now, I've been here in Mexico for about 7 months, so I've sort of figured out my own budget, and I wanted to share with you all, for me, a family of 3, what we spend here in Mexico. Now, for rent depends on where you are in Mexico. Now, we live in Puebla. Puebla is the 4th largest city in Mexico, and it's about 2 hours from Mexico City. So therefore, we're not in Mexico City where the prices are skyrocketing. The prices are going up here in Puebla, but not as much. But you can still find affordable places here. So for rent. Now, Central Puebla will be about $600 for a 1-bedroom furnished. Now, that is amongst the most expensive areas in Puebla. Not the most expensive, but one of the most expensive areas in Puebla. So that'll be about $600 for a 1-bedroom furnished apartment. Now, you were looking to go to Angelopolis or Angelopolis. Now, that will be more expensive. That'll be about $800 for a 1-bedroom furnished. Now, that is a more upscale area of Puebla, so you will see the prices just go up from there. Now, if you're looking at La Paz, which is located off the Avenida Juarez, now that's going to also be about $800 for a 1-bedroom furnished apartment. Now that's another more upscale area of Puebla, and you'll find in these upscale areas they tend to be a little more safe than the not so upscale areas of Puebla. So those are 3 main areas that people tend to move to who are foreigners in Puebla. And again, Central Puebla, about $600 for a 1-bedroom furnished apartment. Angelopolis, $800 for a 1-bedroom furnished apartment. And La Paz, also $800 for a 1-bedroom furnished apartment. Now, as we move on to other expenses that you may have while living in Mexico, they may vary. You may find some properties that will have internet included, or they'll have water or electricity included or gas included. In my case, the internet is included, but if I wanted to go out there and get my internet, I'm looking at, there's a few companies. There is Mega Cable, there's also Total Play, and there's also Telcel. Now, in the apartment I'm living in, there's Total Play. And if I were to pay for Mega Cable, which is 1,000 megabytes, and also includes Amazon Prime, Netflix, HBO Max, Star Plus, and some others, that will be $60 a month. $60 a month. And that's for 1,000 megabytes per second, including HBO Max, Amazon Prime, Netflix, Star Plus, and some others applications. And that is Mega Cable. Now, if you're looking at cell phone service, I have a prepaid cell phone service, and for my plan, that's 349 pesos a month. Now, if you were to say how much is that, that could be about let's say $20. That's about $20. So $20 a month for prepaid cell phone plan where you actually have 5 giga. You pay that monthly. It's an actual plan, but you pay that monthly. So for your cell phone, I have AT&T, but the bigger company here is Telcel. So again, I use AT&T, and I pay $20 a month for my cell phone service. It gives me 5 gigabytes a month, and $20 is about 349 pesos. So $20, not so bad, right? Now, electricity, I pay that bi-monthly, right? Is that correct? Bi-monthly? Yeah, bi-monthly. So I'll pay that bi-monthly. So electricity, I pay electricity bi-monthly with CFE, and that bill comes into my apartment building at reception, and every 2 months I go and pick it up and pay the bill. Now that bill was roughly $25 per month. $25 per month. Now I must let you all know that electricity here in Mexico is subsidized, so you're going to be paying a much lower rate for electricity that you will actually pay in, say, many other countries. For example, we pay much more for electricity in the Dominican Republic. Now, we're looking at gas. Gas is paid monthly, and that is about $20 a month that we spend here. We cook with gas every day. We use hot water, a lot of hot water every day. All that is used, is heated by gas, so therefore gas is used a lot in this apartment, and that is about $20 a month. So for cable, we do not actually have cable because we depend on our subscriptions, but if we were to get cable, that will probably be DirecTV. So looking at DirecTV's plans, that'd be about, I'll say about $30 a month for the most popular plan for DirecTV. $30 a month for the most popular plan for DirecTV. It comes with a whole bunch of channels. A lot of channels are in English, and I feel like that would be a good deal if you were the cable type. Health insurance. So health insurance, it works differently here. Now you have your public health insurance that a lot of foreigners may not actually have access to because it functions with the Mexican Social Security, and you gotta sort of pay into it. You may be able to opt into it, but I'm not so sure about how that works. We have private insurance, and it is actually, the quote is, the monthly quote is given to you by person, right? So, you know, like for example, in the United States, you may pay $200 for your health insurance for one person, and for a family, you may pay $500, right? It'd be, whether it's a family of 3 or family of 5, you're paying $500. Well, here in Mexico, it's by the person. And sometimes if you have pre-existing conditions, that person may not even qualify. Or if you are obesely overweight, right, you may not even qualify. So I know in our case, one of us, not me, right, is overweight. So therefore, we had to sort of like lower the weight, so they can actually do the weight and height ratio, so that person can actually qualify, right? So there's 3 of us, but I broke it down by a couple. So as a couple, we paid $200. Now for the third person, we add on an extra $100. So it's roughly $100 a month per person. However, each of us are quoted differently. So based on our health risks, and the way they do that is by asking a bunch of questions, a questionnaire, and they'll ask, look at your height and your weight, and they'll use all that to base it off of. So you can basically say, yes, we're fine, no problems, no existing conditions. We all said that. So basically, it seems like they base all of this off of weight, height, and age. So out of all of us, I'm the cheapest, right? So we all quoted at different quotes. So altogether is roughly $280 a month for 3. For the couple, $200 a month. So if you were to I guess, figure out where you fit into that. That is a rough estimate, and we use the health insurance company AXA, right? So I will make a whole another video on health insurance in Mexico, but just for you all to know, for a couple $200, for a third person, I will add an extra $100 if you are relatively healthy. So for transportation, it really depends on the person or the couple or the people, your household. So the way we broke down transportation is if you take 2 taxi rides daily and use that if you were to be going out of the house for about 25 days out of the month, and did the math, if we were to take 2 taxi rides daily or Uber rides daily, we came up with about $160 a month. So that is about how much we spend for us for the month. Now, we personally, we don't leave the house daily. I mean, there's 3 of us, so one of us, yes, leaves the house more than others. But you know, I work from home, so I don't have to really go anywhere. And we live in a vicinity where we actually walk everywhere, so it's rare when I actually have to take a Uber ride. Maybe if I'm going to the doctor's clinic, or maybe if I have to go to the market, and we go to the market weekly. So other than that, we really don't really take any Uber rides. We walk everywhere. So for us, for our situation, I will put it about $160 a month for transportation, and that's leaving, you know, round trips about 25 days of the month. Entertainment. So entertainment, I broke it down to where, you know, us dining out about 10 times per month. Now, we don't dine out that often, but some months we do and some months we don't. So it just depends. So I say about 10 times a month. And for us, that'd be about $300 a month. Now, what does that mean? I mean, that's us going out. Damn, we don't really want to cook. Let's, you know, order pizza, or let's go and around the corner and eat and maybe have a couple of drinks. So in a month, that'll be about $300. Now I'm going to discuss housekeeping. Housekeeping is not something that everyone has, but most folks living outside, you know, the Western world do have housekeeping. Now, housekeeping in Mexico will cost you about $25 a cleaning. So if you were to have 4 cleanings during the month, that would be $100 a month. So pretty cheap, but that is how much it will cost you for housekeeping. Groceries. Now, I find that groceries here in Mexico is comparable to the groceries we spent in the Dominican Republic, but for us, we spend about $400 a month for groceries. Now, that also includes every Saturday morning we go to the market, and we'll spend anywhere between $40 to $60 at the market, and that's buying 60 pesos for a kilo of chicken, pesos for a kilo of pork ribs, chicken wings, right? So it'll be 70 pesos a kilo for chicken wings. For a kilo of chicken breasts or chicken thighs, or the other parts of the chicken besides the wings, when we're looking at 60 pesos, which is about, that is $3 a kilo. So think about it. If you're spending about $3 a kilo for chicken, or at 70, it's more like $4 a kilo. So maybe $3.50, then $4 a kilo, right? So that's pretty cheap for chicken. So that's why we buy our meats from the market, because it's so much more inexpensive than if you were to go to Walmart, which is right nearby where we live, or behind us is Soriana. So you'll find that the market is much cheaper. Also, we can buy seafood, but we don't buy seafood as much because we don't find it to be as cheap as the other meats, because we live in Puebla. Puebla is not near a ocean or anything like that. So I think that's why seafood is a little more expensive here, even though you can still find some cheap seafood at the market, but just not as cheap as the other meats. We buy mostly chicken. It's rare if we were to buy ground beef or if we were to buy pork, but for the most part we're buying chicken. Now we also buy our produce there, meaning all of our fruits and vegetables, our nuts, all of that we buy from the market, and it is very, very cheap. I mean, I've seen at the market where I can get, grapefruit for half the price I can get the grapefruit in Walmart, right? It is very, very useful to go to the market. So I always recommend you all who are looking to move to Mexico, anywhere in the world, find the nearest market and try your best to get a lot of your local, buy local, right? Also, you'll find that the buying local is also more inexpensive, right? You don't want to buy your groceries, all your groceries, at the supermarket, which is always more expensive than you will find at the local market. And at the local market, you're actually supporting the local economy, right? So definitely do that. So again, these are my approximate monthly expenses here in Puebla, Mexico, living as a couple for the most part, because I wanted to make this video based on a couple rather than a family, because I know a lot of folks that are actually moving are actually couples. These are my approximate monthly expenses as a couple living in Puebla, Mexico, and living in the most expensive area in Mexico, which is Angelopolis. And in this area, as a couple, with everything I break down with you in this video, totals to approximately $2,135. Again, $2,135. Now, this city of Puebla, again, the fourth largest city in Mexico, is comparable to other notable international cities such as Lima, Peru, Manila, Philippines, Johannesburg, South Africa, and Istanbul, Turkey. Again, this video was an approximate and it depends on the person. I am far from a penny pincher. I like to, live comfortable and spend when I want to spend, but not going overboard. Therefore, you can easily get by with far less. So I hope you got something out of this video. Please give me a like, share, and subscribe, and comment on your experience in Mexico if you haven't, or if you are Mexican. I'd really like to know what you spend monthly in Mexico. And again, stay tuned to my channel, Profe Gallo. Check out my other videos that I'll be doing about the Dominican Republic, Mexico, and so much more. Peace.